The 2,000-year-old computer that shouldn't exist. In the spring of 1900, a group of Greek sponge divers was blown off course by a massive storm. They took shelter near the tiny, rocky island of Antikythera. When the storm cleared, they decided to dive, hoping to find a few sponges to make the trip worth it. Instead, they found a nightmare. One diver surfaced, trembling, and claimed he had found a heap of dead, rotting people on the seafloor. What he had actually found was a Roman shipwreck from the 1st century BC, filled with marble statues that had been eroded by the sea to look like decaying flesh. But hidden among the gold jewelry and headless statues was a small, calcified lump of green, corroded bronze. It looked like a rock. For 2 years, it sat in a box at the National Archaeological Museum in Athens, ignored as junk. Then one day, the box broke open. A scientist noticed that inside the rock were ears, dozens of them, some with teeth as small as a millimeter. This shouldn't have existed. According to every history book ever written, humans didn't master complex differential gearing until the 14th century. Yet here it was, pulled from a 2,000-year-old shipwreck. This is the mystery of the Antikythera Mechanism, the computer that was built before the invention of the clock. To understand why this is so world-changing, we have to look at what this device could actually do. For decades, it was too fragile to touch. It wasn't until the 21st century, using high-resolution X-rays and 3D surface imaging, that we finally saw inside the clockwork. What we found was a mechanical masterpiece. The device was operated by a single hand crank. By turning it, the user could track the movement of the sun, the moon, and the 5 planets known to the Greeks: Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. It could predict solar and lunar eclipses with terrifying accuracy, down to the hour and the direction of the shadow. It even had a dial to track the 4-year cycle of the Olympic Games. This wasn't just a tool. It was a simulation of the universe. It was a physical manifestation of the idea that the cosmos followed mathematical laws. But the mystery isn't just how it worked. It has who made it and where the technology went. Imagine a civilization that had reached this level of sophistication. If the Greeks were building analog computers in 60 BC, why didn't they have an industrial revolution? Why did this technology vanish? Some historians believe the device was designed by the legendary mathematician Archimedes, or perhaps by his students in the school of Posidonius. It represents a lost path of human history. When the Roman Empire rose and the Greek Golden Age faded, the knowledge required to build such a machine was lost. The Dark Ages weren't just a period of war. They were a period of technological amnesia. For 1,500 years, nobody on Earth was capable of building anything as complex as the device found in that shipwreck. Think about that gap. If the knowledge of the Antikythera mechanism had been preserved, if it had been mass-produced, we wouldn't have waited until the 1940s for the first digital computers. We might have had navigation tools that would have allowed the ancients to map the entire globe. We might have reached the moon while the Roman Empire was still standing. The shipwreck itself tells a story of a globalized world. The ship was a massive freighter, likely heading from Asia Minor to Rome to deliver loot for a victory parade. It was carrying the treasures of the East to the masters of the West. When it sank, it took a piece of the future down with it. The sheer complexity of the mechanism's internal architecture suggests that it wasn't a prototype, but rather the culmination of a long, sophisticated lineage of engineering. The device utilized a pin and slot mechanism to account for the Moon's varying speed as it orbits the Earth, a phenomenon caused by the Moon's elliptical orbit. To represent this mathematically in 60 BC required a level of geometric understanding and mechanical precision that historians previously thought was impossible for the era. It implies that for every one Antikythera mechanism found, there were likely hundreds of simpler predecessors that have simply dissolved into the salt and silt of history. This mechanical universe also challenges our understanding of ancient Greek philosophy. We often view the Greeks as people of theory, interested in the why of the stars, but not the how of the machine. The Antikythera mechanism proves they were a civilization of doers and makers, bridging the gap between abstract math and tactile reality. By condensing the heavens into a box the size of a shoebox, they had essentially created the first portable GPS and calendar. The disappearance of this technology serves as a chilling testament to the fragility of human know-how. When the Roman Empire shifted its focus toward military expansion and administrative bureaucracy, the specialized workshops capable of cutting microscopic bronze gears lost their funding and their purpose. Without a market for high-level astronomical tools, the master craftsmen died out, and their apprentices moved on to more practical, less ambitious trades. It wasn't just a machine that was lost. It was the entire infrastructure of innovation, the Silicon Valley of the ancient Mediterranean, that was dismantled by the slow grind of economic shifts. Today, the Antikythera mechanism is a warning. It shows us that progress is not a ladder that only goes up. It is a fragile thread. We can reach the heights of genius, and then, through war, neglect, or simple bad luck, forget everything we have learned. We look at this corroded lump of bronze and we see a mirror. We see a civilization that was almost modern, a world that was on the verge of a breakthrough, only to be swallowed by the waves and forgotten for 2 millennia. It leaves us with the most haunting question in history. How many other computers are sitting at the bottom of the ocean or buried under the sands, waiting to tell us that we are nearly as advanced as we think we are? The mystery of the deep is not just about what was lost, but less about what we are still missing.